What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the We Run on Coffee podcast, season 2, episode 2. How weird.
I know.
It's honestly it feels really cool to say we're in a new season.
I know.
It just feels different. I don't know. I kind of like the vibes, but welcome back. We're doing quite a New Year theme over the first couple episodes of the year. So
just
our last
to get through
episode,
January.
Yeah, just to get us started right. You got to get up on the right foot in 2024. So our first episode was our recap of our past year and then our manifestations for this year. Oh, I just realized that my tag is hanging out of my clothes. I didn't cut it off.
At least I can't see it. It's okay.
It's on my pants. I was just literally feeling my waistband and it was there. I'm wearing a brand new, I'll just shout this out because why not, Skims matching set that I got on clearance. It's so cute. Hold on, let me show Marissa. I'll show her.
I want one.
Dude, it was honestly kind of affordable for Skims. Okay, for Skims, everyone. But the top was 24 and the bottoms were 22 or something like that.
That's not bad.
On clearance. And then I got also the red, it's red, by the way, a red bralette. And unfortunately, I thought I would wear all three together, but unfortunately, the bralette looks kind of weird because it's a different shape than these straps. It sticks out.
Oh.
But it's so cute. And I was like, I'll wear this for our little Galentine's party. Yeah,
I'm about to order one.
I'll send a link, and then we could be matching. Wait, that would be so.
I'm about
cute.
to come up. I'm about to show up matching.
Okay, I don't want to spoil our catch up, but that's definitely a piece of it. But anyway, all that randomness to say, we just did our fun episode about what our goals are, and today's episode is going to be how to achieve your dreams, how to achieve your goals. Yes. How are we going to actually, complete our goals in the new year, because it's one thing to say them and it's another thing to get them done.
Very true.
So we're going to talk about it. First, before we get started, I feel like we can do a what are you drinking, but we're drinking the same thing we were drinking in the last episode. So
I have I'm drinking the leftover coffie and my water, but it is part of my catch up. So I got this beautiful new water bottle.
Whoa! Oh, is that the Awala one that you wanted?
Yeah.
So cute. I love your topper.
Thank you. Mara gave it to me at work.
Cute.
It's just
What's
a
the
little
shape?
straw cover, and it's a little
Is it a flower? Oh, that's so cute. Adorable.
And I love it. And I was talking about it in my last episode of wanting to drink 80 ounces of water a day. Yes. And this is a 40-ounce cup. And it's one of the Awala ones with a straw. It's not one of the ones that has the sip and chug thing, but it has the handle, and I love it so much.
We're just two off-brand Stanley girls because we both have different off-brand ones.
Prized possession. I love this thing so much, and I drink so much water, not even kidding.
The ESWB, the emotional support water bottle.
So true.
She just choked.
I did.
That's so cute. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love that. I have a black one as well. We're gonna be our black off-brand water bottles with our Skims outfits. I can't.
Okay.
2024 is too good. All right, so catch us up and get us started. I'm excited.
Okay, well, that was my first update. I'll just do all of them though. So where did I put the Apple Pencil? There it is. I gotta check off as I go.
She's an iPad girly now, you guys.
An update, I guess, is that I'm actually writing down my notes for the podcast before we start it. What the heck?
I'm so happy. That was one of your goals too.
It is, and I'm doing it successfully, at least for the first 2 episodes.
Works for me.
Okay, so that one I checked off my list. The next one is that I found a new cocktail that I like.
Ooh, tell us. I'm excited.
And so I think that the real name of it is an Orange Crush, but I make it a little differently because I don't have all the ingredients.
Okay.
So basically, I do 1 shot of vodka, I guess I'll say the ounces because I don't know how much an ounce is versus a shot. Yeah. So I do 2 ounces of vodka, an ounce of triple sec, and then 2 ounces of orange juice. And then I add a little bit of, I have Sprite 0 sugar, and I add that to make it a little sparkling. And it's so good.
Wait, that sounds really good. Maybe we should make that for our little party. I don't want to spoil what it is yet, but yeah.
And then we could add grenadine to make it Galentine's themed.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited.
We're going to do it.
Yes. I cannot. I'm so happy.
So that's my next update. And then
love.
This one you're going to love too. So literally last weekend, on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, me and Kyle started watching Only Murders in the Building, and we've almost finished it.
How do you like it?
Almost done. It is so good, Arika.
It's fun. I love it. Wait, I'm so glad you guys started watching it. That's so cute. Angela's dad just started too. He was like, all right, I finally started Only Murders. It's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
I love it.
We're on season 3, episode 6. So we're almost caught up all the way. So we can talk about it.
Okay, I love that. I'm so we finished it recently and I'm so I don't remember the first season because we watched it when it came out a while ago. And so now I'm I don't remember all the details all the time, but great show. I love it. I love the different storylines. I love Selena.
It's so good.
For Selena. I love it.
Throwback to the Very Merry Slut Pop Christmas episode. Yeah.
Love.
Okay.
That's fun.
And then one more good update and then one bad update.
Okay.
The first one, the last good one is that I've been enjoying my Switch. And I've been trying to split my time in between reading and using my Switch because I want them
sucked in.
I want them both to be hobbies. And I gravitate more towards reading because I'm not a big gamer girl, but I've been trying to, like I said, split my time evenly between the two. Yeah. And I've started trying to build my Animal Crossing island.
Fun.
And I'm not doing great at it because I don't really know what to do.
Don't stress. I don't either. Don't stress because I've had mine since 2020, first of all. So and I'm literally last night I just did a new structure on the island. So you can always change it. But I'll tell you a hack that I did because I didn't know what to do and I felt way too overwhelmed and then I just didn't want to play because I'm I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Aside from following the little missions of Tom Nook, I went last night on Pinterest and I just searched Animal Crossing entrance because I really wanted to work on when someone visits your island, they come out of the airport and then they just walk off the bridge. And I want that to look cool. So I just searched Animal Crossing entrances and on Pinterest, there's tons of them and it shows you how to do it. It's so nice. I just copied one that I saw online. I didn't think of it myself, but I just copied it and then I was okay, I can modify here or there and make it me or whatever. Yeah. But that's a life hack if anyone out there feels overwhelmed by the possibilities of Animal Crossing because you can do so much. It's it honestly sometimes it's frustrating. So that's a life hack is I just went on Pinterest/Instagram and searched it and then I just copy things here and there and implement them.
That's a good
But don't feel
idea.
Stressed because it's supposed to be relaxing.
Yeah.
But sometimes it stresses me out.
I'm not stressed. It's just I don't know how to do some of the things that I want to do. Yeah. I still have a tent, but that's because I don't know how to build a house yet. And I'm still trying to get the tools and stuff to figure out how to build a house. And I got cherries as a gift in my mailbox, but I don't know how to plant them because I don't have a shovel.
Okay.
I'm trying.
Wait, we should play together sometime. Maybe today, maybe whenever you have time, we should play together. But yeah, the main thing is just to always go back to Tom Nook and be what do I do? What do I do? And literally just keep asking them until he tells you that there's nothing to do. That's the only way. But yeah, building shovel is fine. That's fun. You can also just buy one at a shop. I don't know if you have a shop yet, but if you don't, you're allowed to buy stuff at my shop.
Okay.
So yeah, there's different options, but that's so fun. I just love that you got a Switch.
I keep getting so mad that I keep getting stung by bees every time I shake the freaking trees.
There's a hack for that too.
Okay.
I can carry a net.
Okay.
And you can shake the tree with a net in your hand, and then when the bees come out, you just rapidly press A as fast as you can, and you'll catch the bees.
Oh, that makes sense.
But I hear you. That is annoying. And also, if you have a flimsy net, it will break a lot faster, so you want to upgrade it. But I'll help you.
I can't upgrade yet because it doesn't tell me how, but I'm trying to
the recipe. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the point where I get more recipes, but I haven't gotten any more recipes. And the stupid animals on my island already have houses, and I still have a tent. And I'm please help me, and they won't.
You're
help
overrunning me.
Yes.
That's really funny. I know the beginning is quite slow in an annoying way, but it'll happen.
We're getting there. I also don't know how to build a chest because I don't have the recipe yet, and I don't have any room in my pockets for anything, so I just have to keep dropping stuff, and I'm getting so mad. Funny. And also I have an island that has a big river through it, so I can only access a quarter of my island because I don't know how to build. I don't know how to build a
Okay, that is so funny. I love how we're on an Animal Crossing tangent now, but in my shop, there's a little thing I can buy. It's a recipe bundle, and it has the recipes for every tool. So I'll just we need to get you on my island so we can buy you that.
Okay.
Or I'll send it to you in the mail. We need to visit. You need to visit my island, or I need to visit yours, and that will make us best friends. And then it will be way easier for us to go on each other's.
I might be able to do it today. Me and Kyle have to go grocery shopping, and
let me know.
I want to try and finish my book. And then there's a Bengals game today, but I will at least for an hour tonight. I will set aside a time. that we can get on Animal Crossing.
I'm sure I'll be on it all day. Now that I like learned that I could just copy people on Pinterest, I'm like, oh, this is how I make my island cool. So yeah, I'm excited.
I'll text you when I'm ready.
Fun tangent.
I'm gonna put it up on my TV and make Kyle watch too.
Yes. Yeah, Angela will watch too if he's home. That'll be fun.
Yay. Okay.
Getting the boys
now we
involved.
figured out our plans for the rest of the day.
Glad we're 10 minutes in and just talking about Animal Crossing.
I know.
I love it.
Now for my final update, and then I'll finally let you go. So Kyle's car, like.
Okay.
Maybe last weekend started making this really weird noise. It was like it wasn't like the engine or anything. Like it didn't sound like a bad noise. It just sounded like shaking, and he could feel it in the steering wheel. And so he was like,
"This happened to Angelo's car. This is why Angelo's car's down." Okay.
Well, his car is better now, but
that's good.
It was really weird. So Kyle was like, let's just make like a checkup appointment for my car. And there's a Firestone literally like walking distance from our apartment. Mm-hmm. So he didn't work Friday, and he was like, well, let me just like take it, like make the appointment. I made it for him because he was driving when it was happening. And he was like, I'll just take it and I'll walk back home like while you're at work Friday. And I was like, okay,
that's so nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
So he did. And tell me why there's $3,000 worth of work that needs done on his car.
Stop. Do you guys think it's legitimate?
A lot of it is.
That's always hard to say. Like, that's always hard to guess if you're not familiar.
Yeah, a lot of it's routine maintenance. But the issue that was making the like shaking happen was that he had 2 lug nuts missing on his tire.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang. Wait, how much did that? Do you know how much that cost alone?
That was like $15 to buy the lug nuts. I was going to say,
that should be super cheap.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
But his brake pads were almost gone. His rotors were rusted. So we had to pay for both of those things because those are like important. Yep. We spent like $1,000 for this first round of getting stuff done. And then it's like the rest is routine maintenance, like getting new belts, changing air filters. Like it's his 100,000 mile maintenance that didn't get done, I guess, at 100,000 miles. So we're doing it now. But he also needs new tires, which is where it gets to $3,000.
That's so expensive. Yeah, because I got new tires a couple years ago.
If we already did the $1,000 worth of like absolutely needed to happen maintenance right now, then the other $1,000 is like the tires, and then the rest of like the miscellaneous cost is just like making sure that we get like the regular routine maintenance done. So unfortunately that's kind of something we're gonna have to be doing over the next couple of months. And my car also needs like, well, his car got like an oil change, and that was in this first like grouping of stuff, but my car needs an oil change, and I might as well just do like a checkup on my car while we're at it. But my car is not worth $3,000. So we're gonna decide kind of how to go about mine. We know that we eventually want me to take over Kyle's car, and then he gets a new one, but with all of the maintenance and stuff that's getting done, it might have to like be restructured how we do it.
Interesting. Okay. But what kind of car would he want to get if he got a new car?
He wants an Audi. Yeah.
Oh, does he? Oh, like an Audi, like a car, like the same size. Yeah. Okay, that's so funny to me because he's so large and those cars are so small. It cracks me up.
I know, and he has a 2-door right now, and he wants like another 2-door, which is so annoying. But
it's so sports car of him, but I hate 2 doors.
I know, I do too. And then his car is going to become mine, and I'll have a 2-door.
Just
and then
2-door cars, yeah.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's ironic that you say that though, because we've been spending so much money on car stuff as well. Like the reason I asked if you thought it was legit is because I never know. We don't take our cars anywhere because Angelo likes doing stuff. So he'll like oil change, rotate tires, whatever. But right now he's been working on his car. Like I said, we've been sharing for 6 months, and he finally got it to a place where he was like, okay, I'm going to turn it on. We're going to drive it for 30 minutes, make sure the battery's good and all that. And we were really excited to I was really excited to have my car back. He turns it on. It smokes. It literally starts smoking in the garage. It smells horrible. Something's burning. I'm worried it's going to catch on fire. And I was like, Angelo, you cannot catch your car on fire, respectfully, because we don't have a fire extinguisher. You cannot set this house on fire. So I was like, first of all, we should probably buy a fire extinguisher. I don't even know how you do that. And second of all, we're back to the drawing board because he doesn't know what's wrong with it. So his dad came over, they looked at it. It's like leaking coolant or something from the engine. And now he's got a whole new set of parts he needs to buy and keep going. So it's like
I think
my freedom was right there. My freedom was right there. I got taken away. But he's like, he loves it though. You know, he loves like fixing stuff, going on YouTube, learning the videos, whatever. So it's fun, but it's also like, my battery has been dying. I probably need to get a new battery. Like, we just been spending money left and right on car stuff. It's a little annoying. I'm like,
he just needs a new car.
He won't, but yeah, you know. I want a new car so bad, but I'm like, okay, neither of us should buy a new car if we're gonna get a van. It's so That's complicated. True. But I'm like, I also just want one, and I can, so why not?
Yeah.
Anyways, all that to say, I can get into my updates. I love how chatty this is already.
I know.
It's vibes. Okay, I wrote finger update. I was like, I might as well just give a finger update. If you guys don't know, I broke my finger at Thanksgiving with Marissa.
If you don't know yet, you're not a real fan.
Yeah, seriously, it's on everything. But I want to give an update. It's doing pretty well. I heard it yesterday. Unfortunately, this is going to sound really, really random, but you probably will relate. I was pulling on a really tight sports bra, and then I pulled it down, and then my hand slipped, and like my fingers were like clenching. Oh, it snapped, and it hurt so bad. But I just want to update that I think within a week or two, the bone should be fully healed, because they say 6 to 8 weeks. I'm beyond 6 and I'm almost 8, I'm pretty sure. And it bends pretty well. If you can see this. Looking pretty good.
It looks really good.
It's slightly, like, it's hard to see, but it's slightly not where the other ones are. And that's just because, you know, it hurts and it's hard to bend it, but we're doing better. And I think she's going to be back to basically normal. I told Angela, if anyone saw this, they would not think I broke anything.
No.
Only I will know that it doesn't do what it once did, but it's pretty good. And I'm happy with that.
Well, that's kind of how, like, my shoulder, ever since I got surgery, it doesn't move the same way, but it looks like a real arm. Like, I can reach behind my head. Like, I can do a bunch of stuff. This one is the hardest, like putting my arm behind my back with like a bent elbow. But it's so weird though, because it doesn't hurt, right? It just doesn't go. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. It feels like a painful stretch a little bit sometimes, but I guess that's probably what your finger feels like too. Like, it just feels like you have to push it past that point. It's a little stiff, but it's not like a super painful stiff. Yeah, exactly. Yep, so she's getting better. Yeah, good news on that. Look at my poor fingy. What do you do? I was making... Did you pinch it? I was making a drink and I pinched it in the shaker. How did I do that? I have no idea, but it hurt so bad. It looks like a bad pinch. I clipped like the shaker top in, and then I was like banging it to like get it open. And when I opened it, it pinched it in the side where like the two pieces go together. And I literally, Kyle was sitting in the living room and I was making the drink in the kitchen. I was like, ow! When I like screamed, and he was like, what just happened? I was like, my finger's bleeding. Oh my God. That's a mood though, when you're somewhere in the house and you just like scream or something. And then you're like, Angela's never that alarmed. I'm like, come on, I'm screaming. Yeah. He's like, are you good? Well, I scream all the time just to like get my frustrations out. So. Yep, I do too. I was like, Angela, do you think our neighbors think we're crazy? Because we'll just yell at each other in a funny way. We'll just be like, stop it, you bitch. Like something crazy. And it's like, our neighbors probably think we're actually fighting, but we're not. It's just silly. Well, wild. I told Kyle the other day, this is going to sound so bad out of context, but we were like fake arguing or whatever the other day. And I was like, I'm going to rip up the marriage certificate. No, that's so funny. That's just a kind of humor that some people don't have and some people do, but I think that's funny. Well, I think it's funny because if you can't joke about that in a relationship, are you even strong in your relationship? I know. I'm like, we're always saying like the craziest shit. Yeah. Just because we can and no one cares that much. Yeah. Okay. Next update. 2 things. Next one is, I kind of brought this up in the last episode, but I forgot I'd never introduced it. But in December, Angela planned us a surprise trip. Yeah. And I kept talking about it on the podcast. So I thought I would just give you guys the final update if you didn't listen to our last episode. Our surprise trip in December was to a treehouse in the woods, which sounds a little creepy when you say it like that. I love it. It was so cool. It was like an elevated tiny home treehouse in the woods kind of thing. And it was awesome. So head to my YouTube channel if you want to see videos of it. It was so cute. Our Instagram probably also has pictures. So yeah. But then my very last update that I'm very excited about is that Marissa is coming to visit me, and I'm so excited. Next month, which is really weird to say. I actually can't believe it happened that quick. I know. I forgot that I bought my plane ticket already because like once I buy something, if it doesn't happen right away, I forget that like I even spent the money. And it was a really cheap flight, if I remember. It was like less than $100, which was crazy. That's amazing. So I was like, and I bought it on my credit card, so I don't automatically see it come out of my bank account. So I was like, whoa, I already bought this flight and I already requested the days off. And I was like, this is so weird. I know. I'm literally so pumped. So Marissa's visiting in February, literally the day after Valentine's Day, I think. Yeah. Officially Galentine's, I'm pretty sure, is on the 15th. I thought Galentine's was the day before, but I could be wrong. Wait, actually, I want to search it. I'm Googling it right now. When is Galentine's Day? I think it's the 13th. You might be right. I don't know why I thought it was the February. Oh, not Valentine's, Galentine's. Okay, I can't find it because it keeps saying Valentine's, but I'll look later. Okay. But yeah, Marissa's coming on the 15th because we're going to a live show for the Ladies and Tangents podcast, which you guys know we love. It was in our Wrapped episode, I'm pretty sure. And we talk about it all the time because they're like just a good influence. We love them. I know, which is crazy because I'm also going to a podcast live show in less than a week.
Yes, that's so soon, dude.
I'm going to see, and that's why we drink at the Lincoln Center, I think is what it's called. I don't remember the name of it, but it's on, it's like next weekend, and I'm so excited. And I'm turning that into a date night because Kyle's going with me, so I'm going to find a place for us to go and eat before.
I love that. We bought tickets to Dancing with the Stars Live. We do that every year, and we're going to do that as a date night. I'm so pumped. Yeah. Yay. It's at, what's cool, usually it's at a theater in downtown Columbus, but this time it's on campus at one of the performing arts things, which I've never been in any. Weird. So I don't even, it could be big, I don't know, but it's at OSU. So I was like, that's kind of fun though, because we can park for free with Angelo's pass, probably ride the bus or just walk, and it'll be cool to be back on campus. So that's one of our date nights that I'm excited about.
That's so cute.
You're right, Valentine's Day is the 13th. I don't know why I thought it was the 15th.
I don't know,
but yeah, Marissa's coming. We're gonna go to the live show, and then the next night we're gonna have like a little Galentine's party, which is gonna be so freaking cute. I know,
I'm so excited to sleep on your couch.
I know, I was like, I'm excited because it's Marissa's first time staying at my house, so that'll be like a little bestie sleepover for a few days.
I know,
and it's just fun. It's a short trip, but like in the best way, because it's going to be awesome.
I know, it's going to be like Thursday, Friday, and then I'm leaving like midday Saturday, so we'll still have like 3 days to hang out.
It'll be so lit. I know, I was thinking about like work, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And I think I might take Thursday off, work Friday, but we'll see, because working from home's so nice. I can just like come to the table, and then we can
I think that you can even work Thursday because I'm not flying in until like 3:30.
I have a doctor's appointment in the morning, so I'm like, I better just take the day off, because I literally would get 2 hours in. I'm like, not worth. I'd rather just be relaxed, because I was thinking the same thing, and then I checked the calendar, and that's the day of my primary physician appointment.
Okay.
Hence, I'm achieving my New Year goal.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the nice thing is I can use a half day of sick time and a half day of vacation, so I don't even have to use a full vacation. So that's nice.
Yeah, that's good.
But it's going to be so fun, regardless of the logistics that you guys don't care about. And I'm so excited. And really, I'm excited for this little Galentine's party. Last night, I was thinking, I wonder if we should do like a charcuterie board and heart-shaped build your own pizzas or something.
Ooh,
I was like, how cute. But I really want to do like make cocktails. I just want it to be cute and festive and fun. Yeah. Because why not?
And we can always go to like Meijer and get like all of the stuff that we need. Yeah. And everything.
It'll be so fun. I'm excited.
I know. I wish that I could like help. Like, I want to bring stuff. Like, I want to bring like my charcuterie board, and I want to, but like I'm flying, so it's not going to happen.
It's not realistic.
Yeah.
That's okay. We have plenty. We'll just make up something cute. I just can't wait. It'll be fun. We can do a craft. I don't know.
I know. And I'm kind of excited. It's sad that I'm flying without Kyle because of my plane anxiety and everything, but I'm kind of excited because it will just be like a girls' weekend.
I know. How fun is that? I never do that because I'm so lame. I'll have a lot of girls, so it'll be cute.
The only other unfortunate thing is that Kyle works the whole weekend before. So where is it? He has to do like overtime weekend shifts, not overtime, but like practice on call weekend shifts. Yeah. And he's doing them the weekend before. So like the 3rd and 4th of February. So he'll be gone the whole weekend that week.
Oh my gosh.
Which will be really weird.
Will he be home the weekend you're gone?
Maybe.
That would suck. It's like he just sits at home alone while you're gone. That would just be sad.
I mean,
I guess you're going home on Saturday, so that's nice.
Yeah. Which is like, that was the goal. I was like, okay, well, let's just like go home, hang out, whatever. And I'm so excited because we're probably going to record in person, which will be so cool. I didn't even think of that. I might bring my mic because that will be a lot easier to figure out.
True. I know. I feel like we did it once, and now I feel even better about doing it again because Marissa and I sat like so far across the room from each other last time we did it. And then when me and Angela recorded together, and just in general, I realized that our mics are honestly pretty good. And I think it'll be fine if we just sit next to each other and be normal.
I know.
Which is fun. I wonder if we should do, we're talking too much about this, but I don't even care. I'm like, I wonder if we should do like a little guest episode and bring on Grace and Lauren. I wonder if we should do a foursome episode. We'll think about it.
We could.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get into
I was thinking that we're going to have to look at the calendar because as you guys know, we're already planned into like April. I think we said this like last month or something, but we got to restructure because we'll be recording like 2 episodes in person.
Yeah. And I have to like try to add some of my own things in too. So I feel like we're so far out in a great way.
I know. I added in some couple like one more thing last night too because I was just thinking a little bit. So anyways, let's move on. Are you ready to talk about goal setting?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. I feel like I wrote goal setting. That's a good way to put it. So as you guys saw when you clicked on this episode, I'm sure it's called How to Achieve Your Dreams, a guide to goal setting in 2024. I feel like I have some tips that are how to set the goals to make them achievable, and then some ways of like achieving the goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like kind of both, but yeah, let's just start.
Okay. Well, I have a fun
things.
fact to start with, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Okay. So like I said in the last episode, I did a little bit of research before this just because I wanted to come I have a lot of experience goal setting because of my experience with leadership in charge.
True.
So
yeah.
I've learned a lot about SMART goals, which we're definitely going to get into in a minute. But when doing my research, I just found a fun fact, which I thought was really topical for this time of year. So I was looking around and it was explaining the difference between a goal, I can't even remember the other word, but it started with an M, and it was just different ways of thinking about goals. And one of them was a resolution. And I think that that's really topical for the moment right now because it's New Year's. People talk about New Year's resolutions. Yeah. And the definition of a resolution is something that is often temporary and they're meant for short-term gratification.
Oh,
and I thought that was so interesting because people talk about New Year's resolutions and people always lose them within the first 2 weeks or first month. And I was like, that's because people are looking at them wrong. You're thinking of something I think that resolution should be gone. I don't make New Year's resolutions. I think of goals.
Either. I call my New Year goals. I was just going to say that since 2020, I've always written at the top of my little thing, New Year goals. And the main reason is because I didn't know what resolutions meant. And I was just like, why not call them goals? But it's so funny that you say that because I disagree with what resolution means, actually. Yeah. Not in general, but for what we're talking about. Yeah, I like goals.
I think, for example, I think a resolution would be well, today I'm going to drink 3 of my water bottles instead of my New Year goal of drinking 2 every day. That seems like a resolution to me of being oh, I resolved to do this today.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's so crazy.
That's so weird. And I just thought it was really important to kind of bring that fact up that if people are thinking of these, their New Year's resolutions and stuff, because this still comes out in January and you're trying to think maybe I fell off of them in January and I'm going to restart again in February. That's fine. A resolution is apparently meant to be temporary and supposed to be meant for short-term gratification. So if you kind of want to get away from that resolution kind of talk and be ready for more long-term gratification, hopefully this goal-setting episode can help you.
I love that. That just kind of inspired me for a second to write down. I think we should do a mid-year goal check-in episode this year. We didn't do that last year. I mean, we checked in quarterly, but those were different goals. Me and Marissa make a lot of goals, if you guys can't tell. We're very goal-oriented, but I feel like a mid-year check-in would be nice so we can all talk about how we're feeling, whether it's good, whether it's bad, and check in on those goals together. So if you're listening to this right now and you want to have an accountability partner, it can be us if you would like, and we'll talk about it in a few months.
That's funny that you said accountability partner because I put 1, 2, 3, 4 little things at the very top of my goal setting episode checklist. Yeah. And the first one was make SMART goals, write them down, have an accountability partner, and make an action plan.
Okay, I feel like you're actually way more structured in this episode than me.
Really?
So role reversal. I love that. I didn't even write that down, but the way I just said it, I'm like, duh, that is something that maybe people don't think about is having an accountability partner or even what it means. So I'm glad you wrote it because I didn't even think of writing it.
I just wrote it down because I was like, well, what are 4 things or 5 things or what's the checklist that I go through when I'm thinking of goals? And I don't know if I necessarily think of SMART goals every time, which is okay. Like you said in our last episode that some of our goals are vague, which is okay for now. But I was like, what are things that I think about when I'm making my goals and how I can achieve them? And I think that those 4 things are super important.
Okay, that's great. I think we should dive into SMART really quick because we're saying it a lot.
That's true.
And I think we should just say what it is. So I'll just start and then if you want to add on. Yeah. So if you hear us saying SMART goals, SMART is an acronym. If you've never heard of this, I actually learned it in college randomly. They were like, you need to have SMART goals. I'm like, what? My goals aren't smart. And then we realized, okay, it's an acronym. So SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, or sometimes I've heard it with attainable. Relevant is the R, and then I've heard T as time-based, time-bound, whatever. So that's what the acronym SMART means, and I feel like we could probably give you a real-life example, although I didn't prepare one. So as we get into it. Okay, great. Marissa has some. Oh, see, so you're on it. I love it.
I would say, I'm just saying based off of my own goals, there's a couple that seem the most applicable to SMART goals, I guess. So, for example, one is read 15 books. That is That was pretty smart. It's specific. It's how many books that I want to read. It's measurable. There's a number associated with it.
And you can track it on Goodreads or whatever.
Yep.
You can check in.
Yep. And then accountable is what A is.
Or achievable is what I wrote.
Achievable, accountable, attainable, whatever. I think that it's attainable because it's just a little bit more than one book a month. And I think attainable can be person based.
Yeah.
Based off of whatever you think.
Yep.
And then measurable is that it has a number behind it, that 15, and that you can check in on what you're doing. It kind of goes really well with the M part, the measurable.
Yeah.
And then time oriented, it's just by the end of the year.
By the end of the year.
I want to get it done.
Okay, I love that you had one ready because I'm like, I'm sure some of mine were SMART goals, but I didn't write one. So yeah, that's exactly right. So when you're thinking of making a goal, it helps, even if you don't meet all 5 letters, it still helps you get somewhere that's really productive with creating the goal in the first place.
And it helps you have the accountability too. If you don't have them as a SMART goal, there's no time. I think that the time portion is the most important to me. Yeah. And that it's specific is also the most important, because if I don't have a time frame in which I want it to get done, I'm not going to know how to check in with myself.
Yeah, that's so true. They kind of work tandemly. And I was going to say, what's the most important part to me? I actually think mine might be like measurable / attainable, because for me, it's really like the checking in here and there, which is similar to what you were saying, but it's like the checking in that keeps me going. It's like, oh, I'm almost halfway. I just need to finish. Like that keeps me really motivated. So yeah, I love that.
I agree. And then that all of the things in a SMART goal also help if you do have an accountability partner, because if you don't have these things that are measurable, trackable, any of those words, your accountability partner doesn't know how to keep you accountable because they don't know the specifics behind it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So yeah, let's dive in for like a second to accountability partners and what that means, in case you're listening and you've never heard of that. I probably won't put this eloquently, but having an accountability partner I'll give you an example. If Marissa was my accountability partner and I said, okay, I'm going to go on 6 runs this year, it would be realistic for Marissa to check in with me monthly or bi-monthly and say, hey, like, how was your run this month? Did you go on it? Like, how'd you feel? Whatever. And if I asked her to be my accountability partner, I would expect that that's what she does. And she was like, hey, how'd it go? How'd you like it? Whatever. And it's just someone to keep you on track, keep you checked in. And it helps when it's not yourself, because it's always like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go on 6 runs. I'll keep it in my brain. It's so much easier to quit on yourself because there's no one checking up on you. But if Marissa were to check up on me and be like, hey, how was your run? I would be like, oh shit, I'm going to let her down if I don't do it next month, which probably isn't necessarily true, but it helps keep you on track.
Yeah, and it's an accountability partner for yourself and for that partner too, I think, because if you don't know that you are the accountability partner, how are you supposed to keep yourself accountable to check on the other person's accountability?
Oh my God, that's funny.
It's circular in that way.
100% agree. Yeah, that's huge.
Okay, and then my next part, I guess we can kind of dive into writing them down, and I think that is kind of apparent with what we both did. We have them written down. Arika's is on paper, mine is on an iPad in front of me, and it's just somewhere where you can go back and be like, I think that if you don't write it down, it's just a fleeting idea in your brain. And you can always rewrite it, because you can like delete that file in your brain and restart with a new idea. Again,
like, it's that accountability. It's like, it's so much easier to quit on it when it's not written on paper and you can't go back and like check up and rely on yourself.
Yeah. And of course you can always erase it and restructure the goal, like whether it's written down or if it's on an iPad or whatever, you can rechange the goal to better align with what's happening in your life at that moment. So say, for example, my second one is to train for a marathon this year. If I get injured running the half marathon, that one automatically gets taken off, and it just goes back to the first one of running that half marathon once I'm better.
Yep. And it's about, like, for example, for the one you just gave, the priority is your health. The priority isn't, I'm going to get this goal done no matter what. It's staying healthy and feeling good while you're pursuing your goals. That's the most important part that I feel like for anybody.
Yeah, and I wrote this down. I think that my biggest issue with goals in general is that I feel a sense of failure when I fall short of my goals. And we talked about this a little bit in the last episode of being proud of just trying. And I really try, and I do, but I am my biggest like self-critic, and I'm really too hard on myself. And whenever I feel that failure, or I feel that I fell short, or I've messed up, I need to be more optimistic in a sense of where I'm like, okay, this is what made me quote unquote fail or fall short this time, and use it as an opportunity to get better tomorrow. And if you mess up one day, like I was talking on the last episode of, I was supposed to go on a long run this weekend. I was supposed to go yesterday before my hair appointment, and I was supposed to go today before we recorded the podcast, and I didn't do either. And I was feeling really down on myself last night about it. And I was like, okay, because I'm feeling down on myself, I'm going to do it tomorrow morning, no matter what. But I didn't feel like it. And I can use that as an opportunity to think, what am I feeling that is keeping me from doing this now, and reflect on it and use that reflection to get better next week.
Yeah, I feel like it's so hard to be a type A person, and I think we both really are.
Yeah.
And it always feels like you're failing yourself, and that, I think what's really hard for me is listening to my body in the way that you're saying. It's like, I really don't feel like it, or I really feel like it's better for my mental health if I just take a break for today so that I can be stronger tomorrow. That's so hard though, because if I have 1 minute of feeling, quote, unproductive, I feel like I'm wasting time.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to find the balance of that. But at the same time, it's so necessary to keep yourself freaking sane and like not going crazy and destroying yourself in the process.
Well, when I was going through that like mental turmoil yesterday of feeling like I had failed myself, I said out loud to Kyle, I wish that I could have a moment of relaxation without feeling like it's the end of the world. And like that was almost a direct quote of what I said, because I felt fine skipping it in the morning, because I was like, I was already worried about the time constraint of like getting to my hair appointment on time, not smelling when I got to my hair appointment because I wanted to shower and everything. But once I had gotten home and I had like sat down and I did my charge stuff and I planned for the podcast, I was like, well, I wish that I would have done this earlier, because now I feel like my entire morning was unproductive because I've been productive for the last 2 hours. Yeah. And allowing yourself those spurts of productivity doesn't mean that the times that you aren't productive are worthless.
100%. Angelo and I were having like a similar conversation to that, where I made a comment that Angelo's made 100 times in the past year, but you know when like your partner says something like 100 times and then you're just like, okay, whatever, but then you say it and you're like, wow, it's so true, but it's like, they're like, I said that first. It's like, whatever. Angelo has been saying for the past year, like, we can't relax. We're not the kind of people that can relax. Like, we love to be working on a project. Even when we have like a weekend off of plans, air quotes, we still like to work on the house or have a project. And it's just, we're not the kind of people to just sit and do nothing. And that's okay, but it is also exhausting. And I the other day said that, and he's like, babe, I've been telling you that for the past year. Like, why do you think we had 3 free weekends this year? We like living like that. But it's important to just take a freaking breath. Like, even if it's like we were talking about either in this episode or the last, even if it is playing the Switch or reading a book or something that's relaxing but still doing something, those are the best things for me to like relax and also feel like I'm not a piece of shit. And I'm not trying to say that anyone who can relax is a piece of shit. Absolutely not. I wish I could. But at times my brain just can't accept that. I don't know. It's just how I'm wired sometimes, I think.
I think based off of what you were just saying, some like thought just popped into my head of thinking of self-care as productivity, which I think we have a hard time thinking of. And self-care for us, I think, looks similar. It's sitting down reading a book. It's sitting down playing a game, or it's sitting down watching a movie or a show with our partner. And I really appreciate that time, but it feels unproductive. But at the end of the day, if you don't take that time to be unproductive, you're kind of sacrificing your productivity in the future because you didn't have that moment of mental recharge.
Yes, exactly. And I also feel like, I just thought of this too, I could probably reframe my mindset of it, of like, it is productive towards my relationship to sit down and watch a movie and have quality time. Like, that is still productive towards our relationship and like being stronger, more connected, whatever. So there's probably like almost, I want to say like loopholes of the ways that we think about it to get us there. But I wanted to say this, if you are good with moving on a little bit. I have something that's relatable, because we got on this tangent because you said write down your goals, etc. So I wrote something else that I wanted to tie to that. In addition to writing down your goals, I wrote make it fun and creative and visualize it if that's something that you like I'm a creative person particularly, and so I like to make a vision board every year. I make a physical one. I print out the photos, I cut them, I glue them, I add tape and sparkles or whatever, like whatever I can find, stickers, and I have so much fun doing that. And we make it a thing. Me and Angelo and all his siblings will do it together. They love doing it as well, and so I think that helps me visualize. It helps me get out my creative energy. It just helps in general. So I wrote vision boards, Pinterest boards. If you're not like a printed physical person, Pinterest boards are also great for this. And I've also seen a lot of people doing this. I might do it as well, where they take all their pins from their little vision board on Pinterest and make a screensaver out of it for their phone, like a phone background or a computer background, so that you see it all the time. I love that. And then I also wrote draw/doodle your goals. So if you are like me and you feel like creative, this helps me make goal setting fun and not as stressful. I'll write them in cursive, all pretty, or like with pretty colors, and those kind of things make me feel really good about writing them down. So I feel like that is a good way to approach it. If you're a creative mind, or if that sounds fun to you, it's a great idea, I think.
On the flip side, if you're a very analytical person
yes,
like me, I agree that making it fun, in whatever sense fun looks like for you, it is helpful. So not that I'm going to do this, but you could definitely make like an Excel sheet of like each of your goals and track your accountability like every month. And I think that's something that I would look at better, because I'm not very creative. I would look at like a doodled or a vision board. I've done a vision board in the past, and I'm going to be honest, it stresses me out and I hate it because I cannot.
And that's fine.
I can't look at it and see what I'm actually wanting to see. But if you are a creative person, you can look at that and be like, wow, this is what my life is going to look like. And it is picture perfect. I'm
like cracking up because I'm like, an Excel spreadsheet would stress me so bad. But also I love it though, because at work, that's what we do. Like when you use data in your job, you have to track it. That's how you have reliable results.
That's even what we do with the podcast, of tracking our like accountability 100%. Of like growth and stuff. Like I do monthly reporting for us, and I see the numbers grow every month. And like, I'm not saying that I like analyze it or anything, but just like seeing the difference is helpful.
It's there and it's helpful. Yes. I love that idea though, actually. Like, so if you're an analytical mind, try out a spreadsheet this year. Let us know how it goes.
I'm not going to do it because I like just checking my written list.
But if anyone does though, like please DM us or like share us your template, because I think that's really cool. Yeah. I would have never thought of that. I'm excited about that.
Yay. Well, I'm glad that I had an idea.
Yeah. You always have ideas.
And then I guess the next part we can talk about is having an action plan. And I think that you can speak a little bit more to this, because you were talking about your monthly goals and your planner and how it has like 3 actionable steps to get it done. So if you have any other like examples, I know you shared one in the last episode, but to share about how you have
share that in the last episode or this one? Do you know?
The last one.
Okay. I'm going to reshare the one I have. And then I'll move on to another one. But yeah, so I have a planner. It's called, can I speak? Mm-hmm. The brand is called Russell and Hazel, which is very random. It's a super random brand. I don't know. They're like $15-20 for these planners, but I've had the same one for 4 years now because I just really like the way it's structured. Normally, they change something about it every year, but normally it's quarterly goals that they have you write down. Your quarterly goals, priorities, what went well in the past quarter, etc. This year they changed it to monthly, and it starts with the monthly mantra, which I thought was really cute, and you write your own. And every year I pick a quote to live by every month. So I should start sharing them on the podcast, really, I feel like. But for January, I chose my monthly mantra as a lot can happen in a year. I feel like that just really recapped how I'm feeling. And it's so true. We do these episodes and we're like, holy crap, I can't believe our life. Like we did so much. And then it has some priorities and goals. So like I mentioned in the last episode, but I'll repeat it if you didn't hear it. One of my goals is to embrace being brunette. It's a New Year goal I have. I just want to love my own self, like love my hair the way it was given to me, whatever. So under each goal, it has 3 action items. It asks you to create 3 goals per month and then 3 action items for each goal. So for embrace being brunette, I wrote action item 1, get my hair colored. Okay, I'm blonde right now. I got to be brunette. Step 1, cool. Step 2, I wrote take more selfies or cute pictures with brown hair, because I feel like that's a great way to embrace it, is to really just like keep seeing myself with it over and over. And when you feel pretty or you feel beautiful, you feel better, you know, even though there's arguably issues with that, whatever. That's how I feel. And that is like kind of societally, it's like when you feel prettier, you feel like better inside.
Yeah.
So I have that. And then my third action item is to try one new hairstyle. I thought that was a fun one because I feel like you get stuck in the same hairstyle over and over. Like it's either nothing, messy bun, or like curl.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's try something new. Let's go on Pinterest. Let's pick something unique and try it and really embrace having a new hairstyle. So that was like one example. I don't have the other ones filled out yet. My second goal though is I do want to create a new intro for my YouTube channel. So I'm going to think of some actionable steps for that. But I feel like that's a great way to have an action plan, is just to create action steps. It doesn't have to be 3, it doesn't have to be any certain number, but just small things that are super doable that make you feel like, oh, I can get this done. It's not as big and daunting, as scary as I thought when you break it out into small steps. So yeah, I'm out of breath, but I feel like that sums it up for my action items.
I agree, because in Charge we do new team workshops at the beginning of like every new season. So it's typically in like April or May after the school year's ended and the new team has been like slated. And we do 3 SMART goals, and each one has 3 actionable steps. And I think
love it.
A lot of times 3 actionable steps seems attainable. Like it doesn't seem like too much. But if it's read 15 books a year, how many actionable steps can you realistically come up with? Like that's just my example for this episode. But reading 15 books a year, my only actionable step is make time for reading. Like that's
like, oh, read 1 book this month, read 2 books this month.
Yeah, it's realistically the only thing that I can
agree
actionably do.
And I feel like the actionable steps thing too, it's not something I've actually ever done before, and I think it's a good way to get started, but it's not something you have to stick with if you're not liking it, you know? Like everything in this episode that we're saying, nothing is something that you have to stick with if you don't like, or if it's not working for you. It's so personal. Everything is so personal, but goals are so personal. It's like you have to get on a plan that works for you. So if you're having trouble getting started, try this method, see if it helps you get where you want to be, and then decide if you like it and you want to stick with it or not. But I feel like it's a really good way to get started if you're like, I don't know how to make goals and achieve them. It's scary and daunting. It's like breaking it down a little bit.
Yeah. And it makes it seem like bite-sized chunks that you actually can chew instead of like just seeing the whole plate in front of you. The whole thing.
Yes, it's so true. And that actually goes along with something I wrote down that's kind of sounds silly, but speaking of like bite-sized pieces, I wrote, throw in a few, quote, easy goals. I do this every year. When I'm making my goals, I write down stuff like, I want to buy a van and travel the country, and I want to go to a new country, and I want to see a new state. I write down a couple like easy ones, like going 1 date a month. For us, that's been super easy and attainable. And those little easy goals make it so much easier to think, like to help you realize that you can achieve your goals. You can. Yeah. And having those like, quote, easy ones, and I'm saying that loosely, that can be whatever it is for you. That can be go on 6 runs. Like for me, that's, I think, going to be relatively easy for me. It just makes you feel so much stronger when you're like, oh, I did achieve that. And I also achieved that and that and that. So I should still keep working on those bigger ones.
Yeah, and it's important to have those little ones to still feel successful. But at the same time, goals are meant to be hard. They're not meant to all be achievable. I think that... I think SMART goals are a great thing, but goals are also meant to push yourself, and don't be afraid to put big goals out there too. Like I put train 100%. For a marathon. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. I hope to. That's why it's a goal, but I'm not going to be. Don't allow yourself to be completely defeated if you can't do it. A goal is meant to be hard, and it's meant for you to push yourself.
I'm like cracking up inside because I'm like, this whole episode is us being like, here's how you achieve your dreams, but also if you don't, it's okay. And I think that's the message though, because like we don't have to stress ourselves out, right? I think people who don't set goals might be people who are stressed out by setting goals, and I'm just here to tell you, like, it does not have to be stressful. It really doesn't. It's for you, you know? It's not for anyone else. It's not making a vision board because everyone does it on social media. It's like for you and growth, Marissa's word of the year, just seeing the growth within yourself. But yeah.
And not all goals are personal. That's like the big reminder too. Set goals that you can control in your personal life. Set goals that you can control in your professional life. And also, if you do have a partner, set goals that are both like that you can control in your like relationship as well. And something that I brought up with Kyle last week or this week or something is just that I want to sit down maybe once a month and kind of check in with each other and see what are our goals like together, because that's the only way that you can know what the other person is like reaching for or something. Like something that I asked Kyle about was like that his only goal is just to be more active this year. He doesn't have any other ideas or thoughts or like any hard things other than like hard set things like written down other than be more active. And so I think every month a good thing to do is be like, okay, well, how are you going to be more active this month? Is it going to be the same as as last month, or do you want to try something new?
Yeah, I have actually a tip for you guys and maybe like our listeners, you guys being you and Kyle, and maybe our listeners. What Angela and I do, and I would like to recommend to anyone, is that on our monthly date nights that we already are doing, when we sit down at dinner, one thing that we always do and have a conversation about is rosebud and thorn. Have you ever heard of that or done that? So, okay. So every time we have a date night, we usually get food. So we'll sit down and we'll start eating and say, okay, do you want to do our rosebud and thorn for this month? We do it every month. And then it's only about that past month. And we also do it on our anniversary, and it's about our past year together.
Okay.
So you say 3 things. You pick a rose, you pick a bud, and you pick a thorn. Your rose is something you're so happy with, something beautiful, something great that happened in the month as a couple. Your bud is something that it needs a little bit of work. You still need to nurture it and like work on it, but it's budding. You're really excited about it. You think it's going to go well. And then your thorn is something that's not going so well in your relationship that you want to work on. And they can be so big and they can be so small. And sometimes we don't have 3 all about a relationship. So for instance, Angelo's thorn for one time was just school. Like, school is overwhelming me. I don't feel like I can be present in our relationship right now because I'm so focused on school or whatever. And that can be your answer. But yeah, we always do a rose, bud, and thorn. And I feel like that is so nice because it's not super goal oriented, but kind of like your rose or your bud or your thorn could be something about one of your goals for the month. And it just helps you get on the same page as a couple. And I feel like that's huge because there's not always time to do that, like to talk about those things, or a good time to do it. So I feel like dinner on the date night is perfect, and it doesn't have to be stressful or crazy. Like I said, it can be small, but it's just nice to get on the same page.
Yeah, and you might not even have an answer for all 3 every month.
Yes, and
like
that's fine.
If you think that you have 3 roses and no buds or no thorns, like that's fine. You can be completely happy one month and not have to worry about anything that's like causing stress.
Yeah, sometimes I copy his. I'm like, oh, that was a good thorn. I'll just use that.
Yeah. And I think something else that I heard, it might have been on an Instagram reel or something, is at like every day kind of checking in with your partner, because at like people talk about giving 100% in your relationship. The 100% isn't from one person. It's that both of you are coming together to have 100%. That's why it's a partner. It's a 50% or not even 50% partner in things. So I saw this kind of model. It's like after work coming home, you say if you're coming into it at 50% or lower, and you kind of say, well, I can give you 30% because today was a really hard day at work and I feel like I'm not mentally able to give the entire 50% or more. And the other partner can be like, okay, I can take over your extra 20% that you're not able to give me. And that can be in like making dinner or something. Or if your partner comes to you and says, I really can only give you 10% tonight, that means that's a night we're not going to talk. And I really like that idea of like kind of checking in after like a day of work and being like, how here are you? What percent are you at today, to be able to have like how committed to having a conversation are you at the moment, kind of.
I love that. I think I've seen that exact video too, and I always think it's a good idea. I've never actually tried it in that exact way, but even there's times when I tell Angela like I can't today. That's all the words I can get out are I can't today. Like I'm so tired. And then Angela will be like, okay, let's just have leftovers for dinner. Okay? We don't have to like reinvent the wheel. You don't need to cook. Like let's just have leftovers and watch a movie and just chill. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. Like sometimes, again, type A, like we'll put all the pressure on ourselves to do some sort of thing. And it's nice when someone can relieve it. But I love that too, because I think I've heard the same thing. It's like, where are you at? Okay, great. Like I also am at the same place and I'm also doing bad, and we're just going to have a night where we
just don't talk.
Or you can say, I can make up for your extra percent that you're missing and I'll do a little bit extra tonight. I think that's huge because I don't know, you can't be 50-50 all the time. And that's just not realistic. Yeah.
And I think that if you even look at this in a like outside of a relationship perspective, you can check in with yourself at what percent you're at personally, because you have to be there 100% for yourself as well as 100% combined for your relationship. So if you're unable to say you wake up and you're like, I'm only feeling about 80% today, I'm feeling pretty good, but let's see how the day goes, maybe it's going to go downhill from here. But I think that if you're able to kind of use that, not even a percent based system, maybe you could do like a red to yellow scale or red to green scale and see like, okay, I'm a green light right now, I could be at a yellow by noon, but we'll see. Like
that's so funny. Two of my favorite influencers, they use the terms like red panic, like I'm in a red panic right now, or like yellow panic, it's like not that bad but I am like freaking out a little bit. And I think those are funny terms, but also like it's really nice just so people like, it's transparent. It's like this is where I'm at.
I agree. And I think that you can use all of those same things to relate back to your goals. Not that we're getting off topic. That was more about accountability partners. But you can say, well, I feel about 80% committed to this goal. Or I feel like this goal is like a yellow goal. Like it's okay if I get to it. It's okay if I don't. And you can even put them as red goals. Like I don't think this is attainable right now, but I'll come back to it and see.
I like that. For my visual mind too, it's like you could even use a highlighter, like 3 different colors, and highlight each goal on your list that you wrote down or whatever, or digitally, just to categorize them in that way. I like that.
I even like, maybe I will do that, like highlighting my goals and say like, okay, well, like these are green goals. These are ones that I know 100% that I can try my best to get done. My yellow goals are, that would be great if I get it done, but I'm not going to be disappointed if I don't. And I think that with our mindsets of being analytical and type A and everything, we could look at those and be like, okay, well, the yellow ones, I don't need to get frustrated if I don't get it done. And even the green ones, I don't need to get frustrated, but just knowing which ones are more attainable at that moment.
Yeah, I feel like too, what I just thought of is when you're working on your goals, whatever, achieving your goals, the way I just lost what I was going to say. I was going to say, I think, I remember. I think the mindset that is really helpful when you're working on achieving your goals is looking at what you have done. For me, that's huge. When I look at what I haven't gotten done and it starts being daunting and then I start freaking out, I get in a red panic, if you will, about my goals. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't do anything. I'm a piece of crap. It's really about focusing for me on what you did do. It's like, oh, wait, I did already get a raise this year. And that was one of my goals. How did I already achieve a goal 7 days into the year? I'm so proud of myself. And that motivates me to go forward. For other people, it might be the opposite. Some people are motivated by like fear or like, what's the word? Like, you know, when there's an example of like a coach that would like yell at you, like, you need to be going this much faster. And like, that's so motivating for some people. And then there's also like the opposite of like, wow, you did really great today. Even though you did 24 push-ups, like I think tomorrow you could do 32. And it's like really kind. There's 2 different ways. But for me, I'm like, let's focus on what I have done. And that'll motivate me to keep working on more. So I feel like that's a good mindset too.
And I think something going off of that is making sure that you know if your goal is long-term or short-term. And if it's long-term, making mini goals to be able to reach that long-term goal. So all of the ones that we've talked about right now have all been year-long goals. This is just something that we want to achieve by December 31st of 2024. So for running a half marathon, my mini goal is to just run every week. And it doesn't mean meeting my like training plan every week. It just means running a little every week to make sure that I'm getting better. And hopefully that means that I'm running more every week, but that necessarily might not be the case. So thinking of those mini goals to get you to the long-term goals, and even breaking up your short-term goals, which I would say are like weekly or monthly goals of trying to figure out, well, what can I do this week to get to that? And that kind of goes back to the actionable steps that we were talking about.
Yeah, I like the week thing though. Like when I was saying maybe 3 is a good amount of actionable items, maybe it's not. For each person, it might be different. Maybe you want an actionable step every day and that's great. Or maybe you want one a week. Like Marissa just said, that's actually a great idea. Like, oh, I want one a week, or I want one every other week. That's a good way to determine like what your actionable steps should be, the number of them within the full time frame of your goal. For me, a month. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one more thing that I wrote. This is my last thing that I wrote down, but it's actually funny because you did this in our last episode when we shared our goals, and it was something I wrote down that I didn't do but I wanted to do, and it was funny that you did it. So I wrote, when you're actually creating your goals and you're like, what do I want to make a goal for this year? I don't even know where to start. I wrote, think about different areas of your life and make a goal or a few goals for each. So Marissa did this, but I wrote, think about your finances, think about travel, home, self-care, which could be like appearance, exercise, physical care, like going to the doctor, like we mentioned, and think about those areas, like what are the biggest areas of your life that you want to improve or just in general that you have, and then make a goal for each. I feel like that's a good way to get you started if you don't know where to begin. And Marissa did that. She was like, I have my categories. I'm like, that is so funny. That's what I wrote that I wanted to do. So maybe I'll do that next year.
Yeah, I think that was the easiest way for me to approach it, because a lot of times I start spiraling off the bat when I'm like, okay, well, what do I want? I want a billion things. I want to do this and this and this and this. And then I just get so overwhelmed. So if I start out with saying, okay, I've already said from maybe October of last year when me and Arika first started thinking about what we were doing for the podcast in the new year, I want this to be a physical like oriented year, not necessarily and I want to lose weight. None of my goals are about weight or appearance. I just want to be committed to my physical health. And so
for sure,
a lot of my goals are to do with like how far can my body go, or how can I take care of my body to make sure that I can reach these other goals. And so that's why a lot of my goals are in that realm. But also, I got married last year and I just started living with my partner. So I want to make sure that we're also prioritizing ourselves and our relationship too, which is why I put go on at least one date a month, plan 2 trips together, things like that.
I love it. Oh my gosh. I'm just like kind of obsessed with goals in the most cringy way you can think of. Think of a chuggy, cringy 25-year-old. That's me. And I love it.
I know. I do too.
So cute.
I think
I have to say, oh, go ahead.
I just think that having goals gives you a sense of direction in life, and it's important because it provides you motivation to improve. And
it does.
If you don't have those things, it's not that your life is aimless or pointless or anything. It might be a little bit more difficult to kind of see your path.
Yeah. I agree. I wanted to say that I remembered my other P word. This is so random. Okay. But in the last episode, we talked about like our word of the year, and I hadn't thought of anything. And I think I'm going to commit right here and right now to my 2 P words. I'm going to do both. I wrote purpose and passion. So finding purpose in the things I'm doing in my life in general, or just like little things I do here and there, finding purpose in it. And like, why am I doing this? Really giving myself the why, even though I feel like I already do that. I don't think I'm doing enough. And then I wrote and passion, because I'm like, it's the year, as you get a little bit older, I feel like you really start to like, if you're not passionate about it, then why are you doing it? Like, we don't need to be doing things for social media. We don't need to be doing things because our friends are doing it. We don't need to be doing things that we aren't passionate about just because. So I feel like I'm going to focus on those 2 things in the new year. So purpose and passion, I'm sticking with it. My 2 Ps.
And to circle back to my theme of the year, mine is going to be growth, whatever that means in the month and the week and whatever. I just want to feel some sort of sense of growth this year.
I like the idea of a word of the year. I've never done it before. Have you?
Mm-mm.
This is our first time. Oh, I love it. Our first time together.
I'm glad that we kind of both figured it out at the same time, because I didn't even necessarily like put 2 and 2 together. But when you had texted me yesterday saying like, I'm trying to think of my word of the year, I was like, well, a lot of mine already kind of follow that theme. So I might as well just put it down.
Yeah, I get that. I was really struggling with it because, like I said, my therapist asked me to create that. She was like, I forgot to mention, she texted or like messaged me on my app thing. She's like, I forgot to mention this during our call, but I'm asking all of my like clients or whatever this month to think about their intention or their word of the year or something similar. And I was like, yeah, she's right. I'm glad she asked me to do it, or I wouldn't have, but I've been wanting to do it for a few years. And I was just going to say, it's weird how, not weird, but cool how it can relate to so many things. Like growth can mean literally anything. And so growth in any area will be exciting in the new year for you or whatever. So I just love it. If you're listening to this and you made it to an hour, first of all, thank you. Second of all, tell us your word of the year. Let's make that the question for the day on Spotify. So if you're on Spotify, just scroll down, type in your word of the year, and we'll also put it on Instagram, like on our stories. I feel like that would be really fun.
Yeah. And we can kind of make it into like a collage on Instagram.
Cute. I love that. That's a great idea.
But that means that all of you listeners have to actually give us a word of the year so that we can make a collage of all of our listeners' words of the year. And then
don't make it embarrassing, you guys. It can't just be me and Marissa's one word.
I know. And then we have to come back around the 6-month mark in like June or July and reflect and see how we are going on our words.
Yes, I'm writing that all down, you guys. So make sure you follow us at We Run on Coffee on Instagram to do that. But before I'm like saying, I feel like I'm about to say all of our things. But do you have any last goal things that you have written down or that you want to say?
I don't think so. I got all of my points out.
Same. I'm feeling really good after these episodes that we've filmed. If you guys don't know, we film 2 episodes in one day usually. That's like just our cadence. That's how we work. And I'm feeling like refreshed. This morning I woke up and I was like, oh shoot, I got to hurry to get ready and get on this podcast, whatever. It's always like a little bit frazzled, I feel like, going into our podcast. And then after I'm like, oh, that was fun. But today I'm feeling like motivated. I'm like, I should have a productive Sunday. Like I'm feeling good.
Yeah. Go build your Animal Crossing island and I will visit you later.
Yes, that'll be so fun. And you can like pick some fruit and plant it if you want on your island. So
if I can build a shovel.
Yeah, I'll help you. I got you. It'll be fun. I'm just like excited. I'm rich. I'll just buy you a shovel.
Okay.
I'm dead. I work for Angelo, so I'm rich.
Yeah, we talked about this last time. We talked about Animal Crossing.
Okay, if you get really into Animal Crossing or even somewhat into it and you just think it's fun, maybe we should do an Animal Crossing episode later in the year. That'd be
maybe.
Cool.
We'll see.
Just a chat. Because I don't know how we went on for 20 minutes and I could go on longer.
Like I said, I still only have a tent, so I don't have much to contribute to that conversation
That's okay. We'll get you there. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to this. And if you haven't yet, definitely go back to our episode 1 of season 2 that we posted last week, all about our recap of last year and our goals for this year, because that's where we really spilled them all out.
Yes.
And gave you guys the tea on what we want to do this year. But I'm really excited, hopeful for the year. I'm feeling productive and good and positive. So that's always good.
Me too.
To feel. Yeah. So like I said, follow us on Instagram at we run on coffee. Whew, mouthful. And tell us your word of the year, please. Swipe up on Spotify. Swipe up, swipe down. I don't know how you say it.
I think it's up.
Swipe up, yeah, to go down on the page.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I sound old now. And type in your word of the year so that we can look at them, because I'm really excited about that. And if you don't have one yet, maybe think of one and drop it in there, because that would be cool. So we can all work on them together and we'll check in later. So that is all for today's episode. Thank you guys for listening. We love you so much. I'm so excited for the new year of
Me too.
We Run on Coffee. So yeah, with that, I'm Arika.
And I'm Marissa.
And we run on coffee.
Bye.
Bye.